a scion of many worlds. He descends from the sky, three massive pillars in his grip. Isle Loln is a small slip of land, a chunk of rock maybe 200 to 300 meters across sticking out of the ocean and maybe half as tall as some of the ships far below. More a hazard to shipping or a shoal with big ambitions than a proper island, especially with the clearly visible shoals surrounding it. He'll have to revise his plans for using this as a port. Apparently, he had been speaking out of his ass and in ignorance. First major storm and this island will be flooded over, and he slams into the ground way too early, and the sheer pressure on his knees is incredible. The pillars slip from his grip and he scrambles to grab them again. Okay, what the hell is going on? He's standing on the island, but he can physically see that he's at least a good 100 meters away, despite feeling the slope of a cliff beneath his foot claws. His antennae detect nothing, and he can hear the waves hitting the shore far below. All right, this is interesting. Natural axiom phenomenon or deliberate concealment. He closes his eyes to focus and considers. His every sense barring touch is telling him that the island is small and a good distance away, so he has to do this by touch. Sort of. He sends out an axiom pulse through his feet and then pulls it back. There's a sensation of stone, earth, healthy roots. Brush growing out the side of the slope, he must have hit a more stony patch, and to his right is a dip into a sheer cliff that goes down to sea level. To his left, the island keeps going. It's much, much larger than the maps projected. But why is it like this? Why is it he can only feel the island and not see it, not hear it, not smell it? The root patterns on the shrubbery suggest they're a pungent but harmless local breed. He should be getting a nose full of the things by now. I must look like a moth on the windshield, he mutters as he adjusts his grip on the pillars and puts a claw to the ground. There's nothing in the local axiom to suggest that something is here. There's nothing he sees or hears to suggest that he should have stopped in midair like this. His senses are lying to him. Physics and the wonderful world of cause and effect lets him know that it's everything but touch. Okay then. Time to break things. He wants to study this, yes, but he's also on the hunt and has little time to indulge strange phenomena. All right, time to pull at the curtains, he says, and he rips at the local axiom and swirls it around. Now that is fucking fascinating. The island he's standing on actively resists it. The axiom is being held still by some kind of effect. He gathers axiom again, and instead of a general sweep like running a hand over something you can't see, he gathers it into a spike and rams it in. Oh, cool, he says, feeling like a little kid as part of the axiom effect outright shatters to reveal the island. But the rest stays up to make it look like he's shattered reality and is standing on the new reality. He sends a few more pulses through his claws and the ground in his feet to get a bit more of a feel. It wasn't actually invisible. It was more actively persuading him it wasn't here. He can also feel the broken remains of tiny totems in the ground. The island has a scattering of kutha on it. He takes a step and plunges his claw into the ground to pull up the nearest kutha chunk. It's about the size of a ping pong ball and still has the remnants of whatever the hell effect it was. He pockets it and starts stomping up the island, sending spikes of axiom in to shatter more and more of the effect, akin to taking a hammer to break a concrete coating on something without damaging the thing below. Once he gets to a more suitable position, he starts slamming the posts into the ground and then places the top of the gate on. A bit of turning to get the alignment just right and reality beneath the gate wavers. Magrica is the first one out and she lands on something he can't see. "Woo! You picked the nice view," she cheers and he glances around. "Do you not see anything unusual?" he asks and she looks around. "What's unusual?" Terry asks, walking in. He can feel her send axiom through the ground and she shrugs. She doesn't see anything odd either. Does no one else see the weirdness happening on this side? Am I the only one affected? Jasper asks as the rest of the team pours through and everyone looks around. Several girls step off the shards of visible island to stand on what appears to be mid-air to try and see what's bugging him. "I'm afraid not. What's wrong?" Lady Aelur asks, and Jasper holds his claws out and above them projects the image of what he can see. "What on Lacron?" "This is how I see the area. When I was descending to land on Loln, I nearly smashed myself into the cliffside and climbed up. I cannot see the island. I cannot hear the island or smell the plants upon it. I can, however, feel it, and something is making it, so I still can't even though I know something is up. But I can see it fine. This is a normal island, a little hill and cliff covered for a town to be put up in a hurry, but a nice place," Lady Clarity says, and Terry frowns. "There's a lot of natural kutha on the island," Terry admits, and Jasper nods before pulling out the little chunk of kutha he ripped out of the ground. "There's something odd about it, but whatever's affecting me is stopping me from really seeing it. This sort of stuff is normally an open book," he says, tossing it to Terry, who frowns. There is something here, something you broke, but that something is strange." She looks around. "The island looks normal to me. So, if it's just affecting me, then what is it focused on?" Jasper asks. "And what is it meant to affect? You've not even been on this world for a full year, awake or asleep," Lady Aelur asks. My unique traits are that I'm an aggressive Earthani, plenty unique and even frightening. I'm a male, but the first in literally millennia, so it can't be that. I have altered my physiology to grow stronger, and while it's certainly something to be cautious about, it's far from unique. Most people do it by sheer accident. You have memories from beyond, but so do we, and it's not hitting us," Lena notes, and Jasper nods. "Right, so, wait, there are two more traits. The first being that I'm much older than I appear to be. My body was asleep for centuries before I awoke within it. So, is this targeted at those who have lived a very long time?" Jasper asks, as Terry walks off and takes the 6 water girls with her. "And where are you going?" "I've spotted something. There might be a clue there," Terry says. "We're just making sure no one goes anywhere alone. We just barely left the valley and there's already something fucky going on." Ariel answers with a shrug. Jasper nods at that. It is only sensible. The fact she's got her rifle out and ready to shoot rather than holstered at her back does say a fair amount. Also, there's what Terry has wrapped in cloth. If it's not a cannon or rotary gun, Jasper will eat his own damn swords. Honestly, it could go either way. "It is damn surreal to see them walking on mid-air," Jasper notes to himself. Then an eyebrow creeps up as there's distortion. So the island and the plants can't be seen, nor can anything concealed by them, meaning active camouflage rather than invisibility. "So do you think this has something to do with the broken soul?" Magrika asks, as Terry and the 6 vanish entirely from Jasper's senses. "If it is, then it's a big clue in how they operate. This island is only working to deceive me. So if they have some hidden cove or cave where it fools everyone but them, then their vanishing routine suddenly makes a lot more sense," he notes calmly. "So these things do work," Representative Patrice says, stepping through the gate herself and looking around in wonder. "This is weeks of travel by carriage done in seconds. What is wrong?" "Something is trying to conceal the island from me. I can only sense small slivers of it." Jasper explains, conjuring the image of what he can sense again. It also shows them in it. "What? Why? I don't know. Something has been spotted, but I can't perceive it at all." "Speaking of, we've found something," Aqua says, returning with an old leather-bound book. "This should keep you busy while the rest of the girls toss the cabin we found." "Thank you," Jasper says, and opens the book. The first page he opens to is a charcoal drawing of a flower. A touch of axiom so he doesn't shred the page, and he turns it with ease. He begins to read out loud. These newest flowers have brought me some comfort in my time after escaping the dread hold of the shadow. I fear one day my protection will fail and my home exposed to her again. I have set my home to hide me from any and all that bear her twisted mark, and even would they stand upon this island, they would not see it, hear it, or smell it. Their every sense would betray them. I am safe for now. And even though I know this to the very heart of my being, the nightmares are unrelenting. I told you. There is a shadow surrounding the broken soul. I told you, Lady Allure says with a pointed look to Representative Patrice. There is something up, Jasper says as he turns the page. Much of the book is taken up with charcoal drawings of flowers, animals, and even a few with crude dyes of a sunset. In between are snippets about nightmares, whispers on the wind, and terrible paranoia. He scans the entries, but nothing specific is said about what the journal's writer did to the island or more details on the shadow. Whatever happened to the poor woman, she doesn't even want to think about it. A scream pierces the air, and Jasper's moving and tackling through invisible trees before the first echo rings back upon them. The rest of the team follows in the damn wake of his destruction, even as his axiom presence starts to shatter more and more of the illusion around the island. Whatever's hiding it, it's become fairly fragile. "Stop!" Terry shouts at him, and he digs his claws into the ground to skid to a halt. He pumps a disrupting pulse of axiom into the island as hard as he can, and the veiling effect cracks and begins to break away in his presence. Here! It is here! The shadow has come! A dry, cracking voice screams in terror. "What's going on?" Jasper demands. "We found the caster." Terry replies, stepping out of nothingness with an outright haunted look on her face. "Flee! Flee! Cannot die! Must flee!" The voice screams out, and Jasper's expression twists into horror. The penny drops, and he walks to where Terry is, shattering a few unseen things against his shins and looking in. "She has stolen the flesh of an Earthany." "Ma'am, I am not the shadow," Jasper says out loud. His antennae are brushing up against the rafters of the cabin, but he can't see it. He can, however, see his girls standing in midair, sitting on unseen things, and one of them is trying to keep hold of something that's struggling. The shadow! The shadow! The thing! Only the shadow had that... Where is your talisman? The panicking creature asks. "I have no talisman. I am Jasper Emmanuel Skitterway Blue, Sergeant of the Undaunted, Martial Master of the Star Seekers, Son of the Spider, Conqueror of Miru, Savior of Greenstone, Friend of the Goldlands, Ally of the Grand Midwives, Hunter alongside the Mountain Clans, Champion of the Breakaway Empire's Arena, and Friend of the Serpent Empress. Who are you?" "You're what?" the voice asks, utterly incredulous in tone and too confused to panic. "That works. I have a lot of titles," Jasper says with a shrug. "Are you the one that made this island invisible?" Getting near it should scare off most people, and it should be invisible to the shadow. How are you here?" "We're hunting the broken soul. I wanted to use this island as a main base," Jasper says, and there's a heavy intake of breath. "I can't see her. Jane, who are you holding?" "I thought she was a corpse, sir. She's withered and gone." I cannot die. I fled the shadow. I still don't know how. I fled and sought safety, but I could never escape the taint within my soul." The entity states. Jasper opens his wings enough to sweep his surroundings as he walks through the cabin. Aqua and Ariel pull some things out of the way, and he kneels down at the bed. He cannot see her, but he knows he is close. "I would like to help you. I have created a portal that leads to the Aridus Valley, far from here and far from the shadow. Will you let me?" "Yes," the woman states, and Jasper feels out the area around her with his antenna before sweeping up the shockingly thin and light woman, alongside her blankets and bedding, into his arms. The moment she's in his grasp, she fades into view. It's hideous. A withered mummy staring up at him. Whatever she was before her traits have been swept away by decay and desiccation. At the very least, I can bring you peaceful death, Jasper assures her even as he leaves the unseen cabin with her and begins the trek back along the trail of visibility he blazed. Away from water, I have feared the waves so long, she whispers in a pained tone. Away from water we go, he assures her.